Hey YouTube, it's Monday, the last Monday in January, and we're having a pretty nice day today. It's around 42 degrees. We're supposed to get a 3 to 6 inch snowfall tonight, so I figured I had a red oak log on the mill here. I haven't started the mill yet today. It's already after 1 o'clock. I was doing some other work this morning, but I'm going to start the mill up and we're going to cut up this red oak log. Log averages out to be about a 12-inch log. It's this end over here is oblong. It's like 13 and one way and 12 and or 11 and a half the other. So we're gonna figure it out to be maybe 12-inch or 11-inch log and go from there. Almost 8 inches, 7 inches, 7.5 inches. This tree, the pith is not exactly in the center of the tree. It's more off to the one side, but it ends up with being 7 inches from the bottom of the log to the center of the pith at each end, 7 inches. So there's no reason to jack it up or lift it up or put any shims under it or anything. is another red oak log, and you can see very nice and straight. It's coming out good. And again, that's a hand sharpened blade, so see how we do here with this. Now I'm looking to get a 7-inch cant out of this, and I got 7 inches all the way up in here, but I don't have it at this end. So I'm going to cut another inch off of this yet, so I can get this a little bit wider, and then I'll roll it. What you're after here to get a nice cant out of this is you want this log to be perpendicular or parallel to the stop, so that there's no light coming through there anywhere. That means you're going to get a square cut with the next cut, and that's what we're after. Guys, I've had some complaints about the videos being too long, and I have people saying they like the longer videos. Now the ones who are complaining, there's only been about 2 or 3. So if you want to leave a comment telling me what you want in videos, because it's easier for me to make a short video, but I think a longer video shows more of what's happening. Doing here when I bring the saw blade down onto the log at the other end, I'm just looking at the gauge up here to tell me, you know, where I stand as far as where the blade's going to come out of the log at the other end. Because this log's on backwards compared to how I normally do it. It really doesn't matter as long as you got the pith in the center and you know the width of the cant that you want. checking for the 7 inches, and I'm good there now. I have 7 at least on both sides. Okay, this one can be cut right down to 7 inches now to give me that 7-inch pan for the height. I'm almost 8 inches wide there for the width. I'll cut it down to 7 inches and then I'll start cutting 1/8 out of that. Somebody had made a comment the other day about me not cutting quarter sawn boards. I've already cut all the quarter sawn boards I need and a whole lot more. So that's why I'm just slab cutting a lot of this. It's 8 inches wide there, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut 1/8 out of that. Just straight slab cutting. Just to show you what I'm doing here with the numbers, because I had said I would do it the other day. If you watch the blade there, I'm going to bring the blade down to just touch that log. Now if you look over here, I'm at the big line on the saw dial, and that also is right on the 6-inch mark. So when I come back here past the log there, what I want to do is just take this down 1 inch, which is a half of a turn. I'm going from here up to there with the handle. It's just a half a turn, takes me down exactly 1 inch. And then I'm going to just keep cutting like that. So I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then I'll be finished with this log. Now because this board is cut right through the center of the pit there, I don't know if you can make make that out or not, but this is a quarter sawn board. You can see how the curves are going on it. Rings. That one's quarter sawn. This board here, because it's right after the quarter sawn, a lot of this is rip sawn, but because it runs right through the center, it becomes slab. So in the middle here, it's this is the slab sawn. On that side, it's already rip sawn. Now when you bring the saw head back to you, you could leave the blade down where the cut was made and it'll take the sawdust off of that cut. But what I don't like about it is it leaves sawdust on the blade, and if you start the saw without taking the dust off, that sawdust goes directly underneath the guide wheel. And to me that doesn't make sense, because all that's going to do is change the position of the blade. So I don't drag it along the wood. Show you what I'm talking about when you bring the blade back. But right now I did not raise the saw head, so I'm going to engage the blade and I'm going to bring it back, and you'll see what I'm saying about the sawdust being on the blade. Now I should have not ran the blade bringing it back, but I ran it anyway, and there is no dust on it at this point. But when I bring it back the next cut, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I won't run the blade. cut there. If you look, let me bring you in close there. If you look at the blade, you can see there's sawdust on it there. And what I don't like about that is if you run the saw without taking that off of there, if you don't take this stuff off, what happens is it goes underneath the guide wheels and it compresses against the blade, and it actually changes the position of the blade. So you really don't want to do that. I know a lot of guys say you should do it, and if that's what they do, I don't care what they do. I'm just saying this is what I'm doing. So you can either follow this, you don't have to follow it, it's up to you. Now if you look at these boards, they come out nice as far as thickness goes, they're all uniform. But this one has a little bit of, you know, as long as you have something there, it's not really considered wane. But actually this bark's going to come off here when this dries, and then there'll be a little bit of a wane on here. You can see it there going down on this last board. It's still at least a 1x6 if you're going to be fussy and cut just a heartwood out of it. I don't know if you can see this, what I was saying about the quarter sawn, and then here quarter sawn there, and then here there's slab sawn, but it becomes riff out in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boards. I don't know. Looking at a good buck there. So I just wanted to get that one log cut today. I'm trying to clean up a little bit for the snowstorm that's supposed to be hitting us, and then once that this cold weather ends, I'll be able to get a lot more videos made. So like I said, guys, if you don't like the video being as long as like this one is, let me know, because some people are saying they don't like the longer ones. Now I know there's times when I'm teaching I forget, or when I'm making a video I forget that I'm not teaching, and I tend to go a little overboard on the lecture. I've been known to do that at school as well. So, you know, if you don't mind the longer video and you like the explanation, then just let me know in the comments so I can keep doing what you guys are interested in. There's no sense in us both wasting our time. I put the bottle up there for the lubricant, but there's no lubricant in there. I'm not using any lube. So just so you know, that's a hand sharpened blade, hand filed. Cut those boards, you saw how fast I went through them. Did not give me any issues, and I'm not using the lubricant. Okay guys, have a good one. Bye. Now this board that's on here, guys, is the one flitch that was left over there that I could get some kind of board out of it. Now I cut one side of it, you can see it's laying on the front there nice and level. There's a knot down at this end, so there's no sense in trying to salvage that. So if I make a 1x4 out of that one piece of wood that's left there, I'll be in fine shape. And you want to take the time to cut those flitches. Not those are the scabs off the side. They're not going to be good for anything but firewood. But when you get something like this where you can get a board out of it, you should take the board regardless of what size it is. Even if it ends up being a 1x2, you can use it for stickers. But a 1x4 is still a valuable piece of wood. Now the problem here with this, and you'll see when I go to cut this, it's not hitting the dogs that are movable. I got this dog is tight over here, and they're against the stops, but the board is still kind of wobbly. So you got to be careful when you're cutting these kind of boards, because what happens is it tends to want to flip over to one side, and when it does that, you're liable to get the saw blade stuck and it'll run against the guide and wreck the blade. So I'll just show you how you have to like grab a hold of the board real quick. If you notice there, the board was wobbling back and forth, and if you leave it do that long enough, it'll actually jump out of off the dogs, and then you're not holding anything. So that board's not a crooked board. It looks crooked from your view, but when I take the dog up, you'll see how straight it is. Alright, so I'm going to sweep this up and cut them scabs over there, or the flitches over there, into firewood, and then I'm going to call it a day for this, because like I say, we're supposed to get snow this afternoon into tomorrow morning.